So here I have 3 action cameras. I'd probably say these are the most well-known ones. Of course, we have the GoPro. This is the GoPro Hero 13. We also have the DJI Action 5 Pro, and here the Insta360. This is the Ace Pro 2. Now in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the pros and cons after using these two right here, the Insta360 Ace Pro 2 and the GoPro Hero 13 Black. Let's talk about some of the things I like and dislike about these two action cameras here. And then we'll have separate videos going a little bit deeper on this comparison, Ace Pro 2 versus the Action 5 Pro, as well as of course these two right here, the GoPro Hero 13 and the Action 5 Pro. So if you guys want to see those videos, those separate videos, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Now, like I mentioned, I will be just talking about some of the pros and cons after using these cameras for a while now. And if you guys want the more detailed, in-depth review on each one of these, I do have that on the channel. I'll make sure there's a link down below. So let's just jump right into it. And the first comparison we'll talk about is just image quality. Now, when it comes down to video resolution, the Ace Pro 2 does have that 8K 30 frames a second video resolution on this camera. We're here on the GoPro Hero 13. We are capped out at 5.3K 60 frames a second. Now, while that definitely is, I would say on the spec sheet, a big advantage here to the Ace Pro 2. For the most part, I don't normally shoot in 8K unless I'm going to be shooting something like landscapes, or if I'm not going to be moving the camera too much. I'll normally throw it into the HK just so I can have the highest quality. And that's actually what Insta360 recommends using that 8K for, more I would say of a locked down stable shot. If you are going to be using it for action sports or anything that's moving a lot, I'll normally bring it back down into 4K resolution. Next, we'll talk about sensor size, and I think this is where the differences really come into play. When it comes down to the sensor size and that low light shooting, the Ace Pro 2 definitely has that advantage over the GoPro Hero 13. We have a larger 1/1.3 inch sensor on the Ace Pro 2. Here on the GoPro Hero 13, a smaller 1/1.9 inch on this camera. Having that larger sensor does allow you to capture in more light. So if you are shooting in low light scenarios, early mornings, evenings, you're definitely able to pull in a lot more light onto this sensor here compared to the GoPro, and you can really see it in some of those indoor or low light scenarios. Another advantage the Ace Pro 2 does have in those low light scenarios is that if you do want to shoot, they have a pure video mode where it does change some of the settings here so that you're able to optimize shooting in those lower light scenarios. All right, so I'm here at Wind and Sea in La Jolla, right on the beach. Probably a good place, not only for amazing video and photos, but do some audio tests. Got the waves crashing right over here, and we'll see how good the audio is on both of these cameras. We have the Insta360, this is the Ace Pro 2 right over here. We also have the GoPro Hero 13 on this side. But let's just walk and vlog and see how well the audio does. If you guys are familiar with this area, I am actually right underneath the hut right now, which is a pretty popular landmark here in La Jolla at Wind and Sea. But I think here is a good place just to do a little audio test. Also, I'm going to be walking on some uneven terrain here, so let's see how well the stabilization does as I walk and talk and vlog. It's a little overcast morning. It's been really, really sunny and hot recently. So this is the weather today. Got the May gray, June gloom still hanging out here in San Diego. Another super popular area here in La Jolla is the Seals. Now it's actually called the Children's Pool because technically it was made to be or block the waves that come in for kids to swim, but the seals have taken it over. No selfies with seals. It's pretty funny. All right, that was the audio coming directly from the GoPro Hero 13 as well as the Ace Pro 2. That was the internal microphone. Now, the one accessory that Insta360 recently came out with is this right here. They have an all-new Bluetooth microphone called the Mic Air, and it hooks up directly to the Ace Pro 2 as well as directly to the Insta360 X5 cameras. So if you want to have clear audio and you want to be away from your camera, you can now get this thing right here, which is the Insta360 Mic Air. Now, I want to be testing this thing out. I'm going to go up and down the hill also, so you can have some wind going right through it. It includes this right here, which is a little wind muff that you need to put around the microphone, just like this. You can actually control the camera, so I can turn the camera on and off as well by pressing the power button here on the side. So if you want to use your camera like I do a lot of times, just for not for action sports, but for vlogging and for, you know, anything else where you want to be able to have a crispy audio and be away from your camera itself, Insta360 has their own mic. This is the Mic Air. Like I said, hooks up to the Ace Pro 2 as well as the X5. All right, this is the audio you're hearing coming from the camera, not the Mic Air. This is the camera, the Ace Pro 2. How does the audio sound? And switching over to the GoPro. This is the audio coming from the GoPro Hero 13. How does the audio sound? Super windy. Let's see how good the audio is coming from the Mic Air. Right now it's hooked up to my chest, just going down the hill. So both these cameras have HDR mode. Now right now I have them both set to off. And the one thing I want to test here is just see how good both cameras do, especially on a bright day. It's been really cloudy recently, so I haven't really had a full bright day. Today, super sunny. So let's just see how well the cameras do. If we got the sun right in the background. Like I said, this is with HDR off. And it is windy, and I forgot my wind muff, so you guys might hear some wind coming through the microphone. But let's turn HDR on now and see how much of a difference there is. Okay, now I have HDR on the GoPro as well as the active HDR on the Insta360 Ace Pro 2. Same thing, we go right in the sun. The sun is right above me. How well is it exposing background as well as my face on both cameras? And let's put myself in the background here. Again, how well is it exposing my face? Got the clouds in the back. Get the sun right behind me. Is it gonna even show my face on camera? Or is it gonna be a silhouette? Next, we'll talk about size. Putting them side by side, you can see the GoPro Hero 13 definitely comes in a lot smaller than the Ace Pro 2. So depending on your use case and where you're gonna be placing this thing, and if you need to save a little bit of room, if you're throwing it into your pocket, GoPro Hero 13 definitely is much smaller than the Ace Pro 2. Now, while the overall size difference, as far as it being compact and small, does go to the Hero 13, the reason why the Ace Pro 2 is a little bit bigger is because it has this right here, a 2.5-inch touchscreen. Having that large touchscreen is a nice feature, especially if you're planning on using your cameras as like vlog cameras. You have a much bigger screen to look at compared to the smaller screen here on the GoPro Hero 13. Also, another advantage of the flip-up screen here is that you are able to touch the screen, change your menus, everything from this screen, where here on the GoPro Hero 13, you do have a full color screen. However, it is not a touch screen. So like I said, these are pros and cons of each of them. You have a bigger screen here and it's a touch screen. However, no touch screen, but compact wise, you do have a smaller footprint on the GoPro. One advantage of that hinge touchscreen is that if you wanted to hold your camera down like this, you're able to look straight down and see your screen here, which is a nice feature. Now, one feature we have here on the Ace Pro 2 is something called Clarity Zoom. Now, both cameras, the Ace Pro 2 and the GoPro Hero 13, both have the digital zoom. The one thing that's nice about the Ace Pro 2 is that because we have that 8K resolution, if you are shooting in 4K 30, you can now 2 times in digital zoom on the Ace Pro 2, where here on the GoPro, you can digitally zoom in 1.4 times. Here's a couple samples of using the Clarity Zoom on the Ace Pro 2 and the GoPro using the standard 1.4 times zoom on the GoPro Hero 13. Next, we'll talk about battery life. Now, the GoPro Hero 13 does have a 1900 milliamp battery compared to the Insta360 has a smaller 1800 milliamp battery. So as far as specs and numbers go, that actually does go over to the GoPro Hero 13. However, just using the cameras in general, I find that the Ace Pro 2 or the Insta360's batteries feel and perform a little bit more efficient than the GoPro Hero 13 batteries. GoPro over the years have just been plagued with a bunch of battery issues on all their previous models. The 13, of course, being the latest one, is actually probably still the best one. This one does not freeze up like they used to do on all the other GoPros in the past. Also, if you're using your cameras in extreme heat as well as in really cold temperatures, the Insta360 batteries, their Ace Pro 2 batteries, and their X4, their X5 batteries have been really, really good in those extreme conditions, where I feel like the GoPro depletes a lot faster than this one right here. Next, we'll talk about color accuracy as well as shadow details on these two cameras. I think one difference here is that we do have 10-bit on the GoPro Hero 13, where on the Insta360 Ace Pro 2, it does shoot in 8-bit. The one thing that is nice about the Ace Pro 2 that they do offer is that they have a bunch of different color profiles that you're able to switch from on the back of the screen. So when it comes down to bright daytime shooting, it's really going to come down to the preference or the style that you like coming out of these cameras, which you are able to make some adjustments on. However, when the sun's going down or you're in low light or indoor scenarios, definitely the Ace Pro 2 is going to take that because of that low light capability. The GoPro Hero 13 comes in at 157 grams, where here the Ace Pro 2 comes in at 177 grams. Now, while GoPro has been out for a very, very long time, they have built up their ecosystem. People just know action cameras as GoPros. However, most recently, a lot of their cameras, especially the Hero 13, they have been introducing a lot of different style lenses that you're able to put on the front of this camera. The Insta360 also has a ton of new accessories that have been coming out for this camera. Both of them now have the quick release bottoms, so if you guys want to pop these on different mounts, from your chest mount to your helmet, to your car mount, to a vlog stick, you're now able to do that. They both have the quick release mounts available for you at additional cost. And most recently, Insta360 came out with a little housing to make this almost like a standalone camera with a grip, which is pretty cool. And finally, we'll talk about price. The GoPro Hero 3 has been out a little longer, so we do have a price drop on this one. Now, when it comes down to action camera and vlog purposes, these things work really, really well. The one thing that worries me about GoPro is that they just really haven't been making any moves with their camera for the past, I don't know, few years. Every year we're hoping that they're gonna have some breakthrough, and they really haven't, where companies like Insta360, DJI, they've been making breakthroughs and making changes at every iteration. And there it is, guys, just a few of the pros and cons I've noticed after using these cameras since they were released. Again, this is not a full in-depth review. If you guys want to see my individual reviews on both these cameras, I'll link those above as well as down below in the video description. And of course, if you guys got some value from this video, a big like would be much appreciated. This is Ultra Stasia with FlytPath.com. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.